Hello, welcome to another episode of The High Ground, powered by Premier Companies. Jeff, how are you today?
I'm wonderful, Sal. How are you?
I'm doing outstanding.
Who do we have today?
We have a returning guest representing Premier Energy, Bill Houze. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Hey, glad to be here.
And Bill does propane sales, senior sales.
Senior sales.
Definitely senior.
Someone say sales pro, but I won't say that.
Okay, someone would say that.
I've heard you're the best salesman we have in the propane department. Maybe the whole energy department. Is there any truth to that?
He's my salesman.
You know, I'm too humble to say absolutely.
Okay.
But so
I'll read between the lines.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Bill, then, before we ever get started and talk propane, we have got to have the question of the day.
Got it.
And today's question of the day is, tell us, and I can't wait to hear this from you. What was your dream job as a kid? What did you want to be when you grew up?
Well,
I guess we're still waiting.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I was going to say selling propane and propane accessories.
Oh,
and
no.
I hit it. I hit my dream.
Knocked it out of the park.
Yeah. No, I guess, as a young kid, I grew up in that era of the Apollo missions all that, and the astronauts. I had an uncle who actually made a replica of the capsule. Not perfect, but
like regular size?
Yeah. And you could get inside it, and he had put all these buttons that line up and all that and play in it. So, yeah, I think that was it until.
That's pretty cool. Like a kid's treehouse.
Right. Absolutely.
Thing.
And then I think you had to have some kind of aptitude towards math to be an astronaut.
I think that's part of it. Yeah. There's other things.
So third grade.
Physically fit.
Third grade kind of shut me in, yeah.
What about the second time you did that? Third grade. No, I'm kidding. So you wanted to be an astronaut. That's pretty cool, though.
And actually,
with an errant spark and your current product that you sell, you could end up in space.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice.
Yeah, we're going to get to safety later. Thanks, Jeff.
I said errant. He wasn't planning it.
Right out of high school, though, all through high school, I worked at a country club in the golf course.
Really?
And this was in Texas. And after I graduated high school, there was a professional tournament in a town, Abilene, Texas. And I went there and just tried to volunteer to be a caddy.
Yeah.
And I actually got on with a professional a professional golfer. And he made the cut. I played all 4 rounds.
And you just showed up to volunteer?
Yeah. What happened is the real caddies kind of talked to me and said, hey, go talk to that guy. He probably needs a caddy So I did that, played in a round with Payne Stewart. It was
cool.
It was really cool. So at the end of it, on Sunday, he paid me. I think it was like $500, and I'm 18, and I'm going, oh, man, you get this every year? Okay.
You're ready to retire now.
Yeah. And the player I had, Lonnie Nielsen, said, hey, you coming to San Antonio? And he said, if you want to finish out the year for me. And it just, I did not take it up.
Oh.
I did see the reality back then of it, like caddies were living, 4 or 5 to a hotel room, all that. It's not the glamour. Yeah.
The original migrants.
Yeah. It's not the glamorous life you see now. But a lot of times if I have any regrets, it was probably just not giving it a shot.
Yeah, but still, that's a cool story.
Yep.
That's cool.
Huh. Well, Jeff, top that. What did you want to be when you grew up?
Garbage truck.
Yeah, I got a buddy
a little kid, and I can remember my grandfather asking me, so you want to drive a garbage truck? I said, no, I want to ride on the back. And that was
coolest job ever.
I could see that. That's pretty cool.
I didn't quite aspire to that. I fell just short of it and became a fertilizer salesman instead. So, that's
same.
I got a buddy over in Ohio, and he wants to. Today he still wants to buy garbage truck. And
I did outgrow that dream.
you did outgrow it. He didn't. He's still there. It still would be good, you know.
It is kind of cool though to see him, get the dumpster and that's.
You always wonder what happens inside of there.
I don't think I want to go in.
No, but I like to throw stuff in. Well, I think mine was I thought I'd be a fireman for some reason. I don't know why. Huh. And the only thing is I'm not really a fan of heights or ladders. And so those are two components of
how about did you used to like set stuff on fire as a little kid?
Oh, I think we all did. Those were the 70s.
He's judging us.
70s.
He's a propane salesman.
Well, let me just ask.
If you'll remember, I have a story
you've
about
got
that.
stories. We don't need that pyro. But I can assure you that nobody around this table has got any model cars left from that era because we all burned them up in the sandbox.
Yeah.
Firecrackers, matchbox cars.
Yeah.
And little green army men.
Yeah.
I know one time I was going to make a bomb and I put gunpowder, just regular.
I don't think you can really say the B word. We'll probably get
a device, a firework. And
he's already on Homelands.
Yeah, right.
Thomas, you may want to edit that word out
with this face,
Yeah.
But I put gunpowder in a Dixie cup, me and my buddy, and I didn't have any fuse, so I just took some paper and rolled it up. And I remember striking the match. It was like, woof, and it was gone. And I turned around, and my buddy looked at me, and he goes, ha, 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 and I had burnt like my eyebrows off, and my front part of the hair and everything. Yeah, that's another story Mom and Dad probably don't know.
Yeah.
YouTube will never let this one go to air.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. We just got, oh boy.
Yeah.
Well, let's get back on topic. Bill, tell us about the propane markets today, and tell us a little bit about what you do and Premier Energy. And
okay, well, Premier Energy, we do have a propane division. In the last 2 years, it's grown quite substantially. We've added 3 more companies under the Premier umbrella. So we basically have all of southern Indiana covered. What I do is just I get out to the homeowners, try to meet and go over with them plans and different pricing options. We obviously any commercial and our ag with the grain dryers. So far this year, started a little slow, but we had a nice little drop in temperature there.
Yeah, it's really didn't have much drying gas.
Yeah, drying gas wasn't a lot there. So we're playing makeup right now, but we're in a great position because we are fully staffed, drivers, service techs, everything you need. Yeah. So we're very, very pleased about that. I'm
not to brag on Bill. He's sitting right here, but I don't know how you do it. I mean, like I had a new install last year. I built my barn dominium with the shop and my mother-in-law's house on the side. And
you make your mother-in-law live in a barn?
She lives in the minium part of the barn, which is very nice. It turned out really good. But you go out to all the new installs and talk to the homeowners. I mean, I didn't get any special treatment, but it's pretty neat. How we do that is that you go out and look at the site, talk to the homeowners, find out what their need, where they want the tanks, and then all of that. So it's a pretty neat setup to.
Well, we found out, and I just think it's changing times and larger companies cutting back on employees, but there's certain companies, if you ask, hey, could you come out and take a look, they'll do it for a fee.
Oh, really?
To come out and give you obviously we don't do that. We just come out, give you an estimate, give you all the information you need, no charge.
Just part of the service
of the service. And that's where we see our biggest growth probably right now is the larger propane companies. They've cut back so far on employees that their service is so far out. If you called and said, "Hey, I'd like a tank," they'd tell you a month and a half, where we could probably be there in a week. Or if you have issues, a leak or whatever, it's not necessarily going to be. We're going to not 24 hours or something
Oh my
like
gosh.
that. Yeah. So
We ran into something similar. Was it a couple years ago? Remember, I had a buddy down in Jefferson County that his propane supplier, another relatively large company. I know we're a large company, but he ran out, and I mean, it was at that time it was a shortage, and there was a real supply problem, and I mean, he was out for a while, and but he came to us and says like, "Hey, when can you?" Of course, it wasn't our tank, and several other situations, but boy, that was a situation where he was really frustrated with his supplier.
well, that can happen. If we have a program we call Gold Cap, where
That's right.
we have a price that we come up with. I believe this year it's $249.9, and that simply means that's the most you would pay, no matter what propane does. You'll be locked in. If it's cheaper at the time we come out, you get the cheaper price. And we do a service called Keep Full, which means we keep an eye on your tank. You don't have to. We'll come out when it's needed. We know how to do it, either by monitors or degree days. When you don't do that, let's say you have your own tank and you like to just call around each year to get the cheapest price, understood, there's some value there. But when you have situations like you're talking about, when there's a shortage, we're protecting our people.
Yep.
Call-ins who say, "Oh, yeah, I need you now. I'm sorry, but
is that what I'm on? Is it called Gold Cap?
Gold Cap, Keep Full."
Yep. So
And
my dad and I, that has been the best. I mean, when it got to be that cold snap that we just went through, I wasn't even concerned about it. And usually you're like, I wonder where my tank's at. I wonder what percentage I'm on. It has been such a relief, especially for my dad. I mean, he's getting up there in age, and it's just one more thing for an older person to keep track of, or somebody that's busy,
right.
and doesn't make time to stop and go back and check the levels.
Yeah, nobody wants to wake up in the morning and the house is 50
right.
degrees and you got a cold
Gosh.
shower.
Yeah. Well, we've started a monitor program. We've done it up north, just south of Indy, and over in our Harrison, Ohio area. And the monitor program just shoots us the information. And we're not dependent on degree days. We're not, all of a sudden there was a high usage we didn't know. We now know with those monitors. And within the next 5 years, we plan to have all of our tanks have monitors on them.
Bill, explain the degree days, because I think that was pretty neat how you kept, and that's how I think mine's set up is to explain how you all did the kind of how large the house was, or with the degree days, and how you would kind of estimate what that would be.
Well, if you recall, you asked that question another time when Scott was here.
We've got new listeners,
and we both looked at you with like deer in headlights, because we don't know. We're not really up to date on how degree days work. We just know they do. Okay.
It's magic. It's
magic.
We don't need to be filling our heads with that kind of nonsense. It's other people.
He's in sales. I remember.
Yeah, I'm sales. But it does work.
It does.
And there's smarter people than I, believe it or not, that are taking care of that for us. So.
I think we had him on once too. So that's good.
Yeah.
So, Bill, if I'm a new homeowner, or just, hey, I bought a house, or I want to put a propane tank in the Premier. So you come out and you visit with me, but what if I have a concern? And it's like, hey, you're $249.9 and I've got a 500-gallon tank. If I'm worried about my budget, what do you have budget plans that you can work people through?
We do. Absolutely. That's, and it's called the budget plan.
Oh,
Yeah.
creative.
Yeah, very
So
creative on our part.
Marketing spent a lot of time.
Yeah, Kathy, or excuse me, Katie.
Katie, how many meetings was that?
It was probably 19 meetings. And we figured that out. But yeah, what we do is every year in July, we open it up. And if someone wants to get on budgeting, they can do it that time. We'll take the average from the year, your average use from the following year or previous year, and come up with a budget number for you. So at the end of the year, you'll either, come out okay, you may owe us a little, or we may owe you, and you may have a credit. But it gives you that monthly bill instead of when we come up and put 400 gallons in one shot. So, yeah, we have that plan available as well.
Okay, good.
That you got something else, another tool to help. Well, this is another one. Connect us with our customers, and Premier Energy is that Premier Connect,
right?
And that has been for me. I've got a gas tank and a diesel tank on the farm, and I don't use a lot, so I wouldn't be one that would be on a route or kind of a normal usage. And generally speaking, I've got some time, right? I mean, it's my equipment. I usually don't hit empty. So I've got some time, but I was out there at a weekend. It was like a Saturday night or a Saturday afternoon, and I'm filling one of the pieces of equipment up, and I run the diesel tank dry. Well, I just got on Premier Connect, which is the app we have, and you could order for that tank. It's got all my tanks listed on there.
Correct.
That I have on the farm, and I could order fuel right there that quick and easy. That was neat, and it was delivered like that same next week.
Right. Well, that is a great tool we have now, and also on the propane side, it's the same thing like you were talking about. Your tank information will be in there. You just click on that, say, "Hey, I need a fill up," or you can put a note, "Hey, please give me a day's notice when you're going to come." Anything you need, but the really nice thing, it also gives you the history. You can look back and go, okay.
When's the last shipment I got?
Yeah. How much did I use in 2024? You can see that with your own data, and the ordering online, anytime you can avoid a phone call, and you're just,
unless you want to call in and talk to Bill.
Yeah. If you want to do that, there's quite a screening process, but it'll get to me at some point.
2 assistants now that screen your calls.
Yeah.
But Bill's right though. That's one of the things I did was I looked back for Dad to see in that tank of his how much he had used and when he ordered last, and boy, that is a nice app. It's very easy to use and it's really handy.
Yeah, it's from an employee standpoint, it's very handy because I can look up customers' information. But from the customer standpoint, I think we've made it very simple to do business with us, and that's kind of always the goal, to be easy to work with.
Yep. Jeff, starting out, we kind of joked a little bit about rockets and propane but on my install, and I know on others, what's some of the safety things that we go through on an installation?
Yeah, on the install part of it, we'll come out, set the tank, run the line, set a regulator, hook up to your indoor system, and then we do a leak check. And the leak check will also go through your house. So we don't do any indoor work. So whoever the plumber, HVAC guy, occasionally will find he didn't get it tight enough here, and so we're able to
with our pressure check. You can tell that there's
something's off, right? So that's a good benefit to the homeowner for sure.
It's a big benefit, yeah.
That could be a bad day.
Yeah, but also just safety wise, as a consumer, if you ever smell propane inside your house, the first thing you really want to do is just go out and turn the tank off. It should be under the hood. There'll be a little spigot, like a water spigot. Just turn it to the right and shut it off. Then give us a call. we take that very serious, and we get there same day, and get that checked out for you. While you're waiting, you might open some windows, air it out. Don't turn on any light switches. If you're stressed out, please don't light up a cigarette, that kind of thing. But yeah, that's just some, people smell propane, and you would think some of this is pretty common sense, but they get a little rattled.
Sure.
And so we're able to kind of walk them through the steps when they call in. But if this ever, if smell propane ever, just get out. First thing, make sure get out and turn the tank off.
Yeah. That's good to know. That's the first thing. And that's like you said, get rattled and might not think to do that the first thing.
Right. And you may have 5 other people in the house, not all up to date on what's going on, that could go in there and, turn on the gas stove or whatever. And then, it's
remarkable how safe that, with the regulators and the pressure checks and everything else, how much safer it is than it used to be just, even a decade or 2 decades ago.
Right. And we go through our customer base yearly. We hit a certain amount, but the number of leak checks we just go out and do, because it's been a certain amount of time since we've done a leak check. It's in the hundreds that we do every year, just to follow up safety-wise, just to make sure, okay, we're good. No problems here. So if the regulators start to get a little out of date, we get to worry about that. We can get out there and change them out and make sure we're good to go.
Very good. All right. Well, how's supply look this year, Bill? Is it looking okay?
So far, price isn't the greatest, but so far I think supply is okay. And if we continue to have the mild winters, and obviously it won't be much of a problem, but
do you need a tissue? I mean, I know you usually when it's warm, cold, and miserable, and
that's when I'm the happiest in my life.
Oh my gosh!
No,
Bill's doing cartwheels down the hallway, and everybody's cold and miserable. So
right, unfortunately, that's the byproduct of our business. If you're cold and suffering, we're doing okay. We're paying a bill.
Oh my goodness! Well, you're keeping them warm.
Yes,
that's true.
Absolutely.
Well, I tell you, do you have anything else, Jeff? I don't know. We covered some ground here.
No, I got a feeling if I ever send Bill a picture of my fireplace, he'll tell me to go turn my thermostat up or something, just to,
open the windows and have fresh air.
Turn the thermostat up. Bill's happy.
I love being out in the country and just searching for those big 2-story old farmhouses. You can, if propane was visible, you could just see it coming out of all the windows and doors. And yeah.
Well, Bill, on all seriousness, Premier Energy does an outstanding job, and that's just not because I have Premier Ag on my shirt, but it is amazing what you all do, and the amount of customers that you take care of, and even though we've gotten bigger and with mergers and acquisitions, and especially in the energy division, it's neat that we're a big company, but we don't act like it, and very, very customer centric, and the drivers are definitely one of our strongest points.
Have you ever counted all those little white propane tanks we got scattered around the countryside?
Thousands. Yeah, thousands.
11 million.
Yeah. That needs to grow, but there's, to your point, we're very lucky. We have great leadership from the top down to our managers, operations, drivers, everybody. We couldn't be more blessed to be have the leadership we have and have the people around us we do that make our job so much easier.
And if somebody wants to get a tank of propane or get into a new install, how do they do that? They can call us here at the office.
Call the office, and there's another propane salesman, Scott Heine, who takes care of the southern part of the state, and he would take care of that for you, and I kind of take care of the northern.
And then we're down in all over in Harrison and everywhere else. So we have other places. So
right.
All right. Well, that's about wraps it up for today. Bill, thank you very much for joining us again.
Hey, glad to. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, that's another episode of The High Ground, powered by Premier Companies. Thank you very much.